Hello guys, and welcome to a new video posted on my channel. Today we are going to be looking at the maps that were in the battle map building contest and ranking them based on how good I think they were. The battle map building contest ended just over a month ago, and I'm now going to be talking about them. Only two maps actually have entered this building contest, which is a bit of a shame. I think there was going to be a lot more, but people kept backing out, which is absolutely fine. They're allowed to do that. So that means we only had two maps that were in this building contest. And those two maps are from TH Clem and Unbid Broom, who, if you don't know, they're the person who, if you look at my comment section, sometimes you might see somebody comment called E, like lots of E's. With I think like a black avatar. That's Unbid Broom, and they submitted a map as well. So we're going to be looking at both of them in order of. We'll first look at the one which I think was the second best one, and then after that we'll look at the one I think was better. So the way I've scored how well I think these maps are is from their design and gameplay. So for the design of each map, I gave it a score from 1 to 10, and then I did the same for the gameplay. But after I give the gameplay score like from 1 to 10, I then double the gameplay score. Because I feel like gameplay is way more important than design. So for example, like, let's say I give the design for a map a 6 out of 10, and I gave the gameplay a 4 out of 10. The 4 out of 10 would be doubled to 8, and then it would be 8 plus 6 from the design score, which is 14, which would be a 14 out of 30 score, and that will be the overall score. So yeah, that's how I'm doing the score for each map. Without further ado, let's see which of the two maps I think came in second place. So the map that came in second place was Unbid Brooms. So here it is. This is like they didn't really have a name for this. So I kind of like to call it maybe like the Quartz City, like that. It's like a city like really high up, or it looks like a city to me, like really like big buildings made out of quartz. And they've all got kind of like their own like color stripes on them. Like that one was just like a cyan looking stripe, and then you got red and yellow and lots of different so it's mainly red, blue, and yellow, the primary colors. So as you can see, this is what their map looks like, their design. So I think the design of the actual thing of it being like lots of all these buildings connected, like all futuristically. As you can see there, that's a very futuristic design. So it all looks quite futuristic, which I think is great. It's just the only problem is I think there's just too much white, so it makes it a bit boring, which is probably my biggest problem with the map. I mean, obviously it's good how they added stripes, but I feel like they just needed something else to make the design just a bit better and a bit like less boring, because yeah, it's just too much white, and I feel like that is just a bit too boring in my opinion. But still, I think the design is pretty good. So yeah, and then going on to gameplay. So I think their gameplay is slightly better than design. Getting around the map is a bit of a maze. Obviously, like. With experience from playing the same battle maps over and over, for a regular battle, you would know how to get around. It's probably just a case with this where you would need to practice to figure out where you're going, to be honest. But at the same time, I still think even after that, compared to the other battle maps, it is still a bit of a maze trying to get to where you want to get to. And some of the areas that it seemed like you were able to get to, you actually can't, which is a bit of a shame. Because you see like some of the big buildings and big areas and stuff, and you can't actually enter them. And I know in some battle maps it's the same thing, where you can see some areas but can't go to them. But with this, it's like that, but on a whole new level. Because it's by the sides of the map, it seems like you would be able to go to a lot more places than you actually are able to. Like that door right there, Maybe you could have entered that and gone to a higher area. So I actually think that the space that you have for this battle map, the space that you play in, is actually not enough space, especially since Battle Minigame can hold up to 16 players. And to be fair, I don't think any battle map with its size can actually handle 16 players, but still, I feel like this is on a smaller side where they could have had the map be a lot bigger from all the other buildings, but it just wasn't. So that's one of the problems. A massive good thing about this map is what they did was they actually got the loot from Battle Minigame, the exact type of loot, and like did like a coding system with like command blocks or something, where the loot in the chests and like where they're placed in the chest and the exact items are the exact same from Battle Minigame. So that was a great thing that they did actually. So well done to them for doing that. So that's quite a big improvement. But yeah, I just think the gameplay is good, but I would say it's not great because it's like too small of an area. It's too hard to get around. So yeah. So for the design for this map, because of the reasons I said, I gave it a 4 out of 10. So slightly below average, just because of what I said about it being mostly just white. If it had a bit more colour, it would have been at 5 out of 10. But in my opinion, the design is a 4 out of 10. But I can see why people would think it's higher. And then for the gameplay, I would have gave it a 5 out of 10. But I actually am giving it a 6 out of 10 because I feel like the fact that the loot that you get is the exact same loot as the Battle Minigame loot, I think that deserves a whole other point for the gameplay score. So yeah, the gameplay score is a 6 out of 10. So that 6 out of 10 is going to be doubled to 12 because it's a gameplay score, which is more important than design. So that means that the gameplay score is 12 out of 10, adding the 4 out of 10 design score. That means that the overall score, in my opinion, for Unbid Brooms battle map is a 16 out of 30. So that is a score that I would give Unbid Broom for their battle map. So yeah. So now let's have a look at the winning build of this contest, which was TH Clem's build. So here it is. So here is TH Clem's Space Station battle map, and I forgot to mention earlier as well that Ductendo also helped Clem a little bit with the map, although I'm pretty sure that it was mainly TH Clem, but I think Ductendo probably did maybe like 20% or something like that. But yeah, here it is. So this is the Space Station battle map by TH Clem and Ductendo. So let's talk about the design first. So the design of the outside, as you saw, is incredible. So like really massive map with a big circle at the front with all the like connecting points that like go up, and then you've got the big solar panels either side. So from the outside it looks great, although you don't really get to see the outside anyway unless you look out the windows. But you definitely obviously don't get to see the map from far away. But then the inside is a good design as well. So there's lots of different rooms and like different things in the room. So you've got, as you can see there, you've got like seating areas, and you've got like kitchens, and then you've got actual proper science areas like here. I think this is probably one of my favourite rooms actually, is this room with all the different saplings and plant stations and stuff. So Clem really did a great job with all of the different ideas for the inside rooms. And you've got, as you can see, there's a medbay here. So all the designs of all the rooms are great. And as I said, like that planting room was my favourite, and we're about to get to probably my second favourite room. And another thing is you can go in the vents in this map as well, which is more for the gameplay. We'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, Clem did a great design with all the rooms and just for the whole map. And yeah, this is another one of the probably the like better areas. Is you got like a plane that can go outside. So yeah, it's a great design from Clem, from all the rooms and from the outside. And then for the gameplay, it's also very good in my opinion. So so the whole map is circular. although obviously you've got all the intersecting rooms that you can enter. You can enter the vents, and go from area to like different areas in the map, which is great. Which is another way of getting around that's not just walking around normally. So that's great. At the start, I like how you can go. You've got like a choice of going 4 different ways. So yeah, the loot in the chests all being like that, just at the top left, isn't really the greatest, to be honest. Like it's not like that in battle. Like they're actually in different spots in the chest. So that's not the best. I felt like you could have done that, but still, it's still fine. As you can see there, you get very good loot from just going like one way, and there's like a chest, which is quite. I think that's a bit too easy to get that good of loot. If that were a god chest, I'm not sure, but still. So the loot wise isn't the best in terms of like placement and how it's all in the top left, so you can grab it easily. But that's quite a small thing anyway. But getting around the map is still great. But I feel like probably the biggest problem with this map is that it's too flat. Like there's not many areas where you'll be able to go on different layers to fight people. Whereas like just fighting on flat areas can be quite boring. And I know a lot of people, like for example, they love to vote for Frontier the most, and I think the reason why is because I think that's like one of the most flattest areas, especially at middle. But that's just quite boring, and battle minigame PvP is better in my opinion when there's different layers and what you can do. So as I said here, as you can see now, you can go in the vents to get to different areas, and you can actually do a technique where, as you can see, you go through water and you can run for a 1x1 block space, which is kind of cool, and then you can drop into different areas. So I do like that, and it's good as well because when you're in the vent, it's a dark area, so other people, when they see your name tag, might actually see your name tag because it's quite dark to see, which is good as well. So the vent can be like a hiding spot when you're going from different area to different areas. Another bit of a problem is sometimes when you design a map for like for example, if you look at the kind of like the rooms here, obviously the design of them is great for the block placement and where stuff is, but sometimes that actually hurts the gameplay a bit because when you've got like this area is good, but when you've got like just straight like flat tables and just ran like kind of like walls and stuff in the way, it's hard to describe, and you may not understand what I'm talking about, but just sometimes that can shatter the gameplay experience because of like the design being very good. It's hard to describe. If you don't get what I mean, I understand it, but I do know what I'm talking about with that. But anyway, but yeah. Another thing that I wish Clem did with the gameplay, which he didn't, and I actually I said he should do it, but he didn't want to, which is fine. Is you can't actually go on the big solar panels either side of the map outside, because I feel like that would have been great, but he decided not to do that. But yeah, I feel like that's just something that he was a bit missed. So all the battle map still takes place in the massive circle, which is great. I just feel like it would have been cool if you could go outside, so you can get to the solar panels. Maybe there could have been like god chests on either one. But anyway, so that is that's what I think of the design and gameplay for Clem's battle map. So for the design for this map, I decided that because at the same time the design of all the walls, it's all just white, which isn't the best, but I can understand why he did that, and you can't really get any better. But the design is still very good for all the rooms and stuff, so I gave his design an 8 out of 10. And then for the gameplay, for all the reasons I said, I gave it a 7 out of 10. So I actually think his design is slightly better than his gameplay. But his gameplay score is doubled to 14. Adding the 8 from the design, I gave TH Clem's map a 22 out of 30. So there you go. That is both of the maps that were in the Battle Map Building Contest for this year, as we've already done some in the past. Some in the past. So yeah, guys. I don't really know exactly what I'm going to do in the future about building contests, because the fact that only 2 people entered a map into the contest, and one of the people aren't really even in this community of like the legacy community, like I'm talking about Unbeard Broom. Not saying like it's great that they built a map. I'm just saying like technically only one person of this legacy community who like plays legacy with us all, only one person submitted, which was Clem. So I don't actually know if I will do another building contest in this way of like having people build a topic for a month, because that's a lot of dedication to work on a map for a whole month for a contest. Like I feel like people would rather do other things and would maybe work on their own build projects, or they just want to do other things in Minecraft. But yeah, so I don't think I will do another building contest for now anyway. But there is still Battle of the Builds, which I actually much prefer anyway. So we've still got that on. But yeah, I think yeah, I just can't do building contests in this style anymore. And also, I forgot to say as well, Mike Knight 21 was going to submit a map, which I did see, and it looks great. But he just didn't have the time to really finish it. So yeah. But he said he was going to submit that for another contest that I was going to do after. But like I said, I'm probably not going to do a contest now, other than Battle of the Builds. So yeah, well, let me know what you guys think about that. If you guys have any ideas or suggestions for what I can do about building contests, then let me know if you've got any ideas. But as I said, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. But yeah, guys, that is the end of the video. I probably talked too much there. This is already 17 minutes in. But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Well done to TH Clem for winning this contest, and also well done and thank you to Unbeard Broom for taking part as well. You both did great jobs with your battle maps. As I said, Battle of the Builds is still going on, so if you guys want to be in the series, then comment down below or message me on PlayStation. My username is Moncromedia, and we can talk about you getting you in an episode. So yeah, guys, I think that's everything. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you all subscribe to my channel, like this video, and also hit the bell to get notified whenever a new video stream is announced if you would like to. We also recently hit 600 subscribers, which is pretty cool. But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.